Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about best metaverse stocks to invest in. So let's look at what actually metaverse is. Metaverse is a network of 3D virtual worlds focused on social connection. In futurism and science fiction, it is often described as a hypothetical iteration of the internet as a single, universal virtual world that is facilitated by virtual and augmented reality headsets. The access point which can be used in metaverse technologies can be augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality, and virtual world technologies. Current hardware development is focused on overcoming limitations of virtual headsets, sensors, and increasing immersion with haptic technology. As people may enjoy metaverse technology too much and they might take over their whole life. However, analysts think this could have very negative feedback on their health or it could impact kids especially. In my opinion, I think this is a natural progression of internet in terms of new technology and use cases. The booming of crypto and NFTs has shown that people are ready to invest in this digital technology. So it's just matter of time that every company will launch their own metaverse version. A group of doctors has recently argued that metaverse technology could have detrimental effects on the health of people, especially they won't be able to exercise much or interact much. This could also impact kids as they will be spending more time in virtual reality rather than in schools or in person. There is also information privacy concerns where child predators can follow childs and they could impact them in terms of child abuse or sexual abuse. There has been recent news circulated by BBC and Washington Post where they found some minors being attacked by adults in virtual reality worlds. Metaverse stocks have been on radar for many investors in the stock market over the past year. Metaverse stocks have been on the radar of many investors in the stock market over the past year. After all, the metaverse could be a part of our lives in coming years. Nobody can really predict how much it can really change our lives. Right now, this is more science fiction than reality. However, various tech companies are trying to bring entirely this vision into life. As you will be investing in metaverse stocks, patience is needed because this technology might take a decade to develop. However, I will look this investment in a longer run, maybe for next 5 to 6 years. Since technology is evolving day by day, if we look back into 10 years, nobody would have invested or thought of electrical vehicles. Currently, majority of the people are driving electrical vehicles and there has been pressure on the government to reduce CO2 emissions and there have been targets which have already been met. So switching to electrical transport can seems inevitable and you can see reduction in cost as you won't be burning much of the fuel. The people who has such visions in past, they have invested in such companies and they have made a good fortune. Imagine if you would have bought Tesla a year ago at $400, you could have doubled your money in the same calendar year. So stock number one is Unity Software. It can be easily to get carried away with the idea of metaverse. But the reality is it hasn't been built yet. It's kind like a gold rush. Many companies are trying to create the best metaverse, but only few are providing the unnecessary tools. After all, without the right software, it's not possible. Unity Software is currently a video game development company as they are a pretty big deal since they are worth of 51 billion. Unity Software are responsible for a lot of popular mobile games and video games. Unity Software is currently a video game development company. They are a pretty big deal as they are worth 51 billion. Unity Softwares are responsible for a lot of popular mobile games and video games like Pokemon Go for an example. They have also pretty cool business models. They charge just on monthly subscription who use their software. This means they have constant money which keeps on rolling. Something that recently caught my eye was Unity Software acquired Vita Digital Tech Vision, which is the visual effects studio behind huge movies like Avatar and Lord of Rings. The deal is said to have cost 1.6 billion and that could play a huge role in Unity shares. This gave Unity a huge advantage as these world-class tools could combine together and make the best 3D experience. Their stock is currently trending at all-time highs, but they have recently beaten their target expanding. And I think there is a huge potential for this company to grow. I'm going to invest a couple of thousand of dollars in this company. Since I'm in Australia, I'm using an application called as eToro. So let's look into Unity software graph. So as you can see currently they are located at $103.92 and in the recent days there was an increase of $5.81. Looking into 5-year chart, the company has maximum touched the price of 196.65 USD. Looking into their revenue, it has increased by 43.36% in the calendar year. In terms of Q4 2021 earnings, they have beaten their EPS by 31.49% and overall revenue of 6.82. So I can see a potential growth in this company in coming years. So the second one is Snapchat. Everyone remembers Snapchat for their fancy filters. They have been focused on innovations and their silly filters that are groundbreaking technology in terms of AR. Just imagine if you could put a pair of glasses and project digital elements into real world. It would be so useful for face-to-face meetings or even holographic computers like Iron Man does. They have even attempted something like this before with Snapchat glasses, but that might have been too early. What is even more important is Snapchat has over 200 million actively daily users, more than 50% of being age of 15 and 25. Case studies have shown that more young people are getting into Snapchat and that could enhance their experience of augmented reality in coming days. In other words, Snapchat is already preparing users for Metaverse by normalizing virtual and augmented experience from an early age. Some experts even claimed Snapchat is way ahead of Facebook when it comes to Metaverse, as they have already created characters and plot them on the map for everyone to see and interact with. The best feature in Metaverse always comes on Snapchat, which get copied by Facebook or Instagram later on. One of the first thing I was asked to do when I set up my Snapchat account was to scan my face to create a bit emoji. It was a freak out as I was looking way younger. These advertisers will be a big deal in the metaverse. I think Snapchat has nailed them before anyone else. Just think about it. Younger generations are getting very comfortable with this and isn't a far-fetched idea that will be soon coming into lives. Of course, this is already happening in many popular games like Fortnite, but it's not a digital item. Snapchat can start selling it. Their augmented reality technology could allow you to try a pair of sneakers without even leaving your house. It's mentioned as they took a small percentage for themselves. So the potential is huge. So let's look into Snapchat's graph. So currently they are at 37.87 USD. The share has increased $15 from the last day. And if we look into 5-year chart, they will easily bounce back to $74. Their financial has been good. EPS was beaten by 105.77%. The annual revenue was beaten by 8.05%. The next share which we will be talking about is Matterport. Whether you want to give buyers the feeling of being in a new home, it helps guests start picturing how they will stay or showcase wonders of your venue to event planners or patrons. Matterport 3D virtual tours can help you to do more business faster. People have shown more than 300% of their engagement with a 3D virtual tour rather than 2D imaginary. 3D virtual tours can help you create better experiences, happier customers, and more revenue. What's more, you can start today for free with no previous photography experience by opening a free account and just using your smartphone to capture your first space. This is a company you may not have heard of. but they specialize in digitizing the real world. Imagine how in demand this technology could be if you want to create a digital version of your house. The same version of the house can be moved into metaverse technology, and you can invite your friends to look into your house and give them a virtual tour. With the recent name change of Facebook to Meta, Matterport shares have skyrocketed. Working with Facebook to build the largest database of 3D spaces in the world. This collaboration could be first step towards something much bigger in the metaverse. The opportunities could be huge. Matterport themselves say there are over 20 billion spaces across 4 billion buildings that could be duplicated online. This would offer a great way to build spaces in metaverse that are appealing to customers. Imagine having ability to visit castles, mansions around the world. Imagine having ability to visit castles or mansions all around the world without even having to leave your home. During my research uncovered that if Matterport, which charges $1 to maintain a digital copy of customer space every month, the company could be able to make around 280 billions annually. Let's look into their charts. Currently, Matterport is at $9.36. In terms of 5-year report, they skyrocketed at 27.86 USD. So this price is yet to go back and the share will be growing around 200 or 300%. The reason of recent decline was their EPS was missed by 4.90%, which is not a big decline, and they have beaten their revenue by. The next share which we are going to talk about is a famous one. It's Walt Disney. So we are going from a smaller company to one of the biggest one in the world. And you may think, how can Disney get any bigger? Well, the magic phrase here is intellectual property. Disney owns most of the entertainment which we watch, like Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar films. Any company who wants to use their characters, they will have to acquire digital rights and they will pay huge prices when they launch those characters in Metaverse. Combining Disney World, Disneyland, and their cruise ships, we can probably see this stock is getting doubled. Disney could create a full-blown Disneyland metaverse with all of their characters or movies they own. It would be absolutely amazing. Imagine I would rather go for a real thing, but sometimes it's just not possible. So with help of VR version, you can go to Disneyland and you don't have to travel long to states or any other country. This could be good for kids' birthday parties where you can add their favorite characters in the VR. Revenue of Disney has increased by 65 billion in 2020, and once again the moment their metaverse ideas launch, they will drastically ramp up. To be honest, I just can't imagine a world in which Disney isn't part of a metaverse world. Let's look into their graph. Currently Disney is at $142. Looking into 5-year chart, the maximum price which they attained was $197, which they will reach in couple of days. The financials have been good. The revenue was 21.82 billion, which is 34.28% growth. EPS was beaten by 67.24, which is pretty good, and the revenue is beaten by 4.09%. The share will grow up again because, as you can see, the quarter one of 2022 was recently announced. The next share which we are going to talk about is Meta. Meta, previously known as Facebook. Meta seem to be paving the way when it comes to metaverse. They have literally changed their name to Meta. That's a big statement to make. But seriously, Meta isn't the most loved company in the world, and I do agree. Meta have made insane profit of 900 billion in 2020 and revenue of 85 billion. So it's safe to say they can afford to throw more money in this technology. Meta stock has taken a bit of beating lately, but I am taking this as a buying opportunity. And since the whole Meta announcement, I have been buying in more and more of these stocks. The possibility to monetize in Metaverse are endless for Meta, and I'm so excited to see what they will do next. They have acquired Oculus, which was a big venture. They are already working on some new stylish glasses for AR and VR. Just think you could look as stylish as me. Meta is not taking things slow, so they have introduced Horizon Home, Horizon Workrooms, and much more. This will allow you to create places for your friends to hang out and also work from Metaverse. At the end of the day, They are investing billions of dollars into building their metaverse and advertising it. Mark Zuckerberg actually believes that metaverse is going to be successor to mobile and the internet in coming days. Let's look into Facebook or Meta platform's graph. Currently their share is at 229.86. If we look into 5-year chart, the maximum price which they attained was $378, which is expected to grow in couple of years. If we look into 1-day chart, the pre-market is like minus 1.91, which is normal. But if you look into 5 days chart, they have already grown 7.73% after stock market recovery. The financials look quite nice. Revenue was 33.67 billion. The EPS for this quarter of 2021 was missed by 4.03%. However, they have beaten their revenue for 0.69%. So guys, these are some stocks which I could see potential future in terms of metaverse where you can double your money. As I always say, please do your own research. My advice is not as a financial advisor, it's just an independent advice where you can do your own research and invest money. Thank you so much for watching the video and stay tuned for next updates.